list and whether he's completed these items or not. And so these are two separate applications, and the only method they have of sharing information is the personal data store. The two applications don't actually know about each other. There was no pre-configuration. I could use a number of to-do list applications that maybe displayed it in certain ways or did interesting things with that data. So now Scott's got he's got a couple things on his to-do list that he needs to accomplish, and one of them here is he needs to select an orthopedic surgeon for his surgery. And so he clicks on this item in his to-do list, and there's some recommended doctors here. It gives him a list of doctors. This is a mashup between a data feed which contains the doctors that are involved in his current healthcare provider network and doctor recommendations coming from Angie's list. So to be clear, some of these things were unavailable, like we were unable to get a current healthcare institution to provide us data feeds of their doctors. And so we have faked some things in this demo, but is in as real a way as possible. So there is actually a data feed of doctors that indicates which doctors are in the provider network, etc. So some of this is clearly faked, but we've done it in as real as a way as we possibly can. So Scott's going to go in here and take a look at a doctor. You'll notice that this is a different site, right? It's a subdomain on our Kynetx.com, but this is not me.kynetx.com. This is a totally different site. And here, the Kynetx applications that I've installed give me feedback based on the doctor that I'm looking at. And so we can see here that there's an Angie's List recommendation of a C in this case, which Scott's not particularly excited about. And so he wants to choose another doctor here. Let's look at the recommended one here. So Dr. Don Sorensen, he's got an Angie List rating of A. That's really nice. He's only 10 miles away. This is something that seems a little more logical here. So we're going to select this doctor as the orthopedic surgeon necessary for the procedure that we're actually going to be involved in here. And so here we are back at me.kynetx.com, and you'll notice that the select an orthopedic surgeon has been crossed off. That happened because I actually selected the orthopedic surgeon. There's no other way to do that. The other thing is that my doctor selection has been placed into my personal data store by the application that helped me select the doctor. So now I need to set an appointment for a consultation with my new orthopedic surgeon, and so I'm going to click this, and what it's doing is it looked up the doctor in my personal data store. It looks up the doctor's free busy calendar online. We're doing that with a public Google Calendar, and then it looks up my calendar, and in this case Scott Phillips' calendar, and looks for opportunity to open slots that the doctor has that are not currently scheduled on my calendar, so that it can make a recommendation about which appointments might be available. And let's see if the demo gods are with us here.
Did you click it or did you just highlight it?
I thought I clicked it. Let me try it once more.
You know what the leader of the demo gods looks like? He's this little beanie guy.
Alright, you guys, get out there and scroll with the thing.
Okay, yeah.
So it's doing an intersection of the doctor's free busy schedule with Scott Phillips.
Right, but this is not something, we didn't just make a screen that looks like this. This is actually doing the calculation and figure out which appointments are available in my schedule so that I can choose appointments that actually make sense. And so I'm going to pick one here, and I'm going to choose that. The next thing that you're going to notice is it's going to tell me, there's a little pop-up here that says my appointment's been scheduled. It says I'm going to receive a confirmation call shortly. My PDS knows my phone number, and so it's actually going to call me. And let me put this on speakerphone here.
This is Twilio, huh?
It actually knows my PIN. So if I put in the wrong PIN,
I just got your pin on the video, by the way. Might want to change it.
so I put in my correct PIN.
That was the wrong thing.
Dr. Sorensen, Andy at 13:30 on September 7th.
That's so cool.
To confirm, press 1. To cancel this appointment, press 0.
Watch this.
Your appointment has been confirmed. Goodbye.
So Scott's confirmed his appointment, and then the next thing that you can notice is that there's been a data authorization request. Now let me describe what's happened in the background here in our scenario. When I confirmed my appointment, that confirmed the appointment and sent a message to the doctor, and the doctor was able to confirm that and record whatever they wanted in their system, and they realized that in order to provide a consultation, they need some information from me as the patient. And so they sent an information request to my personal data locker, which, and here's the information that the doctor wants. And this is all really nice, but I don't really want to give my social security number to the doctor. And so I'm going to pull that off here. But I want to authorize all this rest of the information so that my doctor can review my X-ray files, for example, and my other medical files to come up with a recommendation on what a course of action should be. So when I click allow, this will actually set the right permissions inside of my personal data store so the doctor can actually access that information. That access can be revoked as well, so that once I'm done with the doctor, or I meet the guy and he's a jerk, and he's like Dr. House but without the medical skills, and I just don't want him anymore. So I decided that I don't want him to have access to my medical records. I can revoke access to that information, and he won't be able to see any updates or changes that are made to that information. So this is the end of our scenario. You'll notice that as we enter each option here, that approve information request came up, and I was prompted to approve the information request, and when I did, it then crossed it off my to-do list. So this involves quite a handful of things. The first thing that we saw was that an email was sent from the doctor that did the MRI, and was sent to Scott Phillips, and an application that he had installed to help him manage healthcare. Received that email out of his inbox. This is any IMAP inbox, and processed the information in that to add information into his to-do list. And then we saw an app that helped me select an orthopedic surgeon. Right? It turns out that app doesn't need to know what for. Of course, besides the fact that it's an orthopedic surgeon, and it can show me information about what recommendations are. You might imagine that it would show you that if any of your friends in your social networks had experience with local orthopedic surgeons, that it might show you that information as well to help you make a choice. You might either want to choose that doctor or not choose that doctor based on your friend's experience. So that was an app that just helped me select an orthopedic surgeon from the ones that are available. Another app actually looked up and mashed up my calendar with the doctor's free busy calendar in order to find an appointment date. How long does it normally take you to figure out a good time to go to the doctor, right? You call the doctor and there's so few appointments available, you basically just have to take whatever they give you. Right? And discussing the 5 or 15 different options is kind of a pain. If the system knows your calendars, it can match that information up together and show you appointments that are available at the doctor and work with your schedule.
Where's the doctor's calendar stored? Is that on Google Calendar, or do you support others?
It's in Google Calendar.
Okay.
But it could be anywhere as long as it's a
data
open,
format
free,
that we can
busy
access.
format.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in all of the ways that we've done this, the data feeds and everything else, we've chosen a format, or we've chosen a way to actually do that, but there's nothing that rigidly attaches us to that particular format or that particular provider. It could be an iCal file somewhere, as long as it gives us the information we need. Then we actually saw a phone call made to my phone to confirm that request, and I was able to interact with that. If I had hit deny, it checked and made sure that my PIN was valid. It was the same PIN that was stored in the data source, so it verified that I was me. And then I could have denied that appointment, in which case it would have removed it from my calendar and actually uncrossed off the set appointment for consultation item because that hadn't been completed yet. So you can actually interact with this in different ways.
And all this is happening real time.
This is all happening real time. And this all happens without the apps actually really knowing about each other. So the app that called me to confirm an appointment doesn't actually know about the app that scheduled the appointment. It doesn't really need to, right? And that's the beauty of integrating this data at a personal data locker, is you can have many different applications and many different systems that are involved in creating an experience like this. And no one company has to produce all of these applications